I'd like to introduce ourselves first. We are the Waste Management Association of Goa, and I am the chairman, and accompanying me is Balen Holmes, who is the vice chairman, Samrudh Hegde Desai, who is the secretary, and Tejashree Kumar, who is the treasurer. Now, the reason why we have called all of you here is to release our findings from the study that we have done. So, you are all aware about this DRS proposed scheme that the government has been planning. And we as waste management people are very concerned about how it will be implemented because it will affect us. So we have had meetings with the government, with the committee, and one important area we have realized is that they have said that DRS has been put, one of the reasons is to reduce litter in Goa. And we realized there is no data across Goa of street litter. So we decided that as an association we should do this and do a study. And so we did a study last week between 23rd and 25th of February, where we checked about 10 or 11 different locations in Goa, basically dumping spots where people dump garbage. We wanted to see what is in this garbage. So we did this survey. You can see the sites like this. We engaged our own labor and we did surveys like this. We made sure that the process followed was scientific. We took in inputs from GWMC also when doing this survey, and we ensured that all the data that was captured was timestamped. So there is proof that it cannot be altered. We are sharing you the report as well. Now the reason for this was to know what is in the mixed garbage that is on the roadside. And when we did this survey, we found that basically half the waste. Now this is a general for all the sites together. The average result is that more than half the waste was non-recyclable waste. Single-use plastics, rubber, shoes, thermocol, these kind of materials. Then the coconut shells was also there. The next most common item in this was the organic component. Now what we realize is many people put mixed waste in the bag. And when they throw these mixed waste, we removed that element and found out that almost 1/4 of the waste was organic. 10% of this waste is sanitary pads and diapers. Now we have a system in Goa, but it is an expensive system, so many people don't want to pay that, so they prefer to throw it on the side of the road. Now after all of this, of course there was recyclables, and we divided the recyclables into three categories. DRS first phase, DRS second phase, and what is not under DRS. So what is under the first phase is aluminium cans, glass bottles and PET bottles. This we found was only 4% of the waste that was there. Then the second phase what they are proposing is MLP and Tetra Pak. That was around 3% we have found. So altogether the remaining recyclables like paper, cardboard, hard plastics and all we also quantified, and what we found out is that the waste that is on the street is not really this DRS item waste. So if they do this, go ahead with this program, what will happen is the waste on the road will still remain, the litter will still remain because it is not part of the DRS program. The aluminium cans and plastic bottles which is there is very little because aluminium cans, plastic bottles, glass bottles have scrap value. So most people don't throw it in the garbage, they sell it for scrap and they get some money from it. So what we have been saying to the government, we have now got proof. We've got 10 locations where we've done this survey and we have displayed all the information. We have come up with an interesting looking pie chart which shows color coordinated. The green is the organic waste, grey is the inorganic waste. You can see 75% of the waste is there. And what is red and orange is the DRS related waste. So what we are trying to say is that we would like a relook on the DRS. We are not saying that it is a bad scheme, it can be improved upon. Today what happens is diapers and sanitary pads don't have any value. If it is included in DRS, for example, people will have less incentive to throw it on the ground because it's costing them money. They will send it to the collection points. We also found out that now this is all by percentage. But when we count how many pieces are there, we found multi-layer packaging, your chips packets and all, is majority of the items in that. Over 1,000 pieces in some places they are found in that 50 kilos. So if MLP was included, it's included in the second phase, but if it was put in the first phase, then we would see some value for that MLP. People will not throw it out. So we have given many other suggestions. I don't know if anybody else. The consumer angle is another element. Now we are directly engaging with consumers. Dylan, you want to say something about it?
चिंतन जे उठेला हे कचऱ्याचे मध्ये DRS स्कीम पडी गव्हर्मेंट येवपाक शकता डिपॉझिट रिफंड स्कीम जे वस्तू जे तुम्ही घेता तेजेर आनी मायज पयशे घालूंक पडटा दर तेलाची बाटली तांदळाची पोती नाजाल्यार आटा सद्याक एल्युमिनियम कॅन तेजेर सगळ्यांचेर तुमकां 5 रुपया ना 2 रुपया चड घालचें पडटा पूण ते घालून ते मागीर परत रिफंड करता पूण ते करून ते म्हणटा आमची ही मेन एम गरज आसा हो कचरो ओपन आसा तो बंद जावपाक पूण तो जावचो ना कित्याक आमी जे स्टडी केल्या 95% वस्तू हांगा आसा त्यो जेवण पोतयो पिशव्यो दॅट इज नॉट कवर्ड अंडर DRS तो DRSान ना सो वॉट इज द पर्पज सो तुमी जे स्कीम हाडटा ते हे सॉल्व करचें ना सो हे सॉल्व करपाक आमचे कडेन खूब सजेशन आसा पूण आमचे कडेन ते नॉर एनी अदर स्टेक होल्डराक तुमी घेतला सो आमी 2 वर्सां जालीं तेंचे कडेन कॉरस्पॉन्डन्स करता पूण कांय चेंज करूना सो आमी करूंक शकता की द वर्स्ट इफेक्टेड इज गोइंग टू बी द कंज्युमर म्हणजे घरकार घरकान्नी कित्याक नंबर 1 ही स्कीम घातली की ना पण तुमचो गार्बेज फी इन द म्युनिसिपॅलिटी डबल जातली कित्याक गार्बेज कलेक्टर पण आसा सद्याक 50 to 40% तेजे पयशे येता फ्रॉम पॅट बॉटल एंड एल्युमिनियम ते भितर काडले तो पयलो बंद करतले काम तो म्हटलो म्हाका दिसाक 700 रुपया पगार जाय तितले म्हाका 300 रुपया हेजे मेळटा तुमी 300 रुपया तुमी फारीक करा सो तो गार्बेज फी घेता आनी वयल्यान तुमी हे घालता आनी ते भायर सेंट्रल गव्हर्मेंटाचे EPR म्हणून स्कीम आसा तेजे बी पयशे जाता सो फायनली द कंज्युमर जो 10 वर्सां जगता म्हयन्याक तेजे 2000 शॉपिंगाचे 500 रुपया तर घेवपाक ताका खूब त्रास आसा पूण हे करूनय हे जावचें ना क्लीन सो पर्पज कितें तो आमकां अजून करूंक द मोस्ट इफेक्टेड इज गोइंग टू बी द कंज्युमर ठीक आहे ते हाडले वस्तू दवरले आनी मागीर परत लायनीक रावले ते पयशे रिफंड घेवपाक कितलो टायम गेलो आनी तो कोड चलना जाल्यार ते पयशे गेले सो इट इज अ रिथींक हॅज टू बी डन इंटेंशन बरें पूण इम्पॉर्टंट कितें म्हाज्या हिसपान जे पळय ऑलरेडी लॉ आसा बॅन ऑन प्लास्टीक सिंगल यूज प्लास्टीक तो इंट्रोड्यूस करा तो इम्प्लिमेंट करा बॅन ऑन सिंगल यूज प्लास्टीक इंट्रोड्यूस करा मागीर बल्क वेस्ट जनरेटर जे हॉटेल जावं कोणूय इव्हेंट जे आसा तेंचे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आसा तुमी खूब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी घेवं पूण रस्त्यार पळयात तुमी कोडिंग जावं बल्क वेस्ट जनरेटर जावं ते पिवसून उडयता ते एड्रेस अजून करूंक ना एनवायरमेंटली इफ यू गो टू सी आमचे हेल्थाक जावं बरें एक वारो बरो एक तरेन जेवण इफेक्ट ना जातले जाल्यार हे पयले इम्प्लिमेंट करूंक जाय आनी कशें इम्प्लिमेंट करूंक आमचे कडेन सजेशन आसा सो DRS इज गुड बट इट हॅज टू बी ऑल्टर्ड इन अ व्हेरी बिग वे एंड देर आर फंड्स फ्रॉम द गव्हर्मेंट विच आर बीइंग यूज्ड वी कैन ऑलवेज टॉक अबाउट इट सो आवर सजेशन इज कम ऑन द फोरम एंड लेट अस वर्क टुगेदर टू मेक गोवा क्लीन more importantly to see that this is not and our environment is less damaged burning becomes less आमची गाय हे खूब खाता सुणी खाता कुत्रे खाता ते हे बंद जावचे ना इट इज अ सिरियस कन्सर्न
मुझे एक क्वेश्चन जस्ट अ ब्रीफ अबाउट आवर ऑर्गनाइजेशन दिस वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट एसोसिएशन मुझे ऑलमोस्ट 5 वर्ष झाले आहे दी वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट एसोसिएशन जे आम्ही चालू केलं ताका आता ऑलमोस्ट 5 वर्ष झाले आहे आणि वी हॅव ऑलमोस्ट 20 मेंबर्स द एसोसिएशन इज comprising of a lot of professionals working in the sector, companies who are managing waste, and also individuals, interested individuals, consultants who are interested to work in the waste management sector. So it is open to all basically to be a member. Some criteria we have finalized. We want ethical partners to be a partner out of this association. There are mostly waste management or business जो असा तो आता unorganized जाता असा, and we want to get some sort of dignity and industry in this sector. So among us, among the 20-25 members that we have, currently we are managing waste in almost 50 to 60 panchayats where we are providing services. So all our experience is actually grassroots based. So आमचे जे काही studies सुद्धा जे आम्ही केल्या that is all practical. So this is about the association. So we our opinions की आमचा अजूनपर्यंत गव्हर्नमेंटाकडल्यान जाय तसो engagement मेळुना for the committee, especially I won't say government, but for the DRS committee, we have been asking for engagement with all stakeholders. And our request at the end of this press conference also will be the same to engage more stakeholders. The scheme as it is proposed is not going to solve any of the waste management problems, but rather is going to complicate more things. Some issues what we are raising are not addressed. So that we are again requesting that this scheme needs to be deferred by at least 3 or 6 months and get all stakeholders, including the Waste Management Association, so that we can oppose our concerns. When we say Waste Management Association, we are representing almost more than 2,000 at least garbage workers, self-help groups who are working in the sector. So some of the issues, everybody, see DRS, isolated system of our Chakna, because the pet bottles are coming, so the waste is not isolated problem of only pet bottles. So जे आमकां सांगले गेला की DRS गेल्यार सगळो पब्लीक लिटरिंग बी सॉल्व जातलो कसो जावचो ना आनी त्या स्टडीन सांगपाक शकता कॉन्फिडेंटली. So almost 3,000-4,000 people's jobs are at stake. So we just want proper engagement before government proceeds with this kind of scheme. This is all I want to say.
ओके तुम्ही असोसिएशन म्हणटा न्ही जेन्ना चडशे मेंबर कोण आसा गोवन बेस्ड जे कोण आसात ते काय कशें कितें
आमचे मेंबरशिपाचे क्रायटेरिया आमी थोडे डिफायन केल्यात. सी गोवन तांचे ऑफिस आसपाक जाय, मिनिमम 3 वर्सां एक्सपिरियन्स आसपाक जाय. सो वी हॅव अ क्रायटेरिया फॉर मेंबरशीप. What we want is, as of now, see, we are also encouraging unorganized players to become members so that get streamlined. The reality is most of the waste in Goa is still managed by an unorganized sector. So the effort of this association is to get them streamlined. So आमचे सध्या member आसात ते all registered companies in Goa.
हो प्रश्न कित्याक विचारला DRS जेन्ना हे येतले सो हो खंय गेटवे आसतलो काय म्हणून आउट ऑफ गोवा कोण जर हे करपाक सोदता तांचे खातीर काय म्हणून
As of now, आता तरी ज्या रितीन DRS scheme proposed केल्या, it is going to monopolize the system. What you are saying is completely right. आज ज्या रितीन DRS implement करपाक मुखार करता, it is going to monopolize the system of it is only one. Whereas right now there are more than 300 small or big players who are managing waste in different sectors. जेन्ना DRS implement जातली फक्त pet bottle खातीर, which is a highly recyclable, that will probably going to monopolize only one vendor. तो majority high valuable recyclable आसा तो कंज्यूम करता अशें आमकां दिसता. वी आर नॉट इन प्रिंसिपल द DRS कॉन्सेप्ट, पूण आमी जशें तेंच्यांनी सांगलें की तातूंत DRSन बाकीच्यो सगळ्यो ज्यो लिटर जाता त्यो कांय ऑर्डर्स सॉल्व जावच्यो. सो मे बी वी आर नॉट कमेंटिंग ऑन वेदर इट्स अ गेटवे और somebody, we are not in a position to know the detail. That's what we want. We want more clarity on the implementation system.
पूण जेन्ना तुमकां कोणाकूच कॉन्फिडन्सान घेतलेच ना एज अ एसोसिएशन, तुमी रजिस्टर्ड एसोसिएशन आसा आनी तांकां जेन्ना अशें तरेन आमी पळयता की बाकीचे इश्यूज आसा थंय गोवा बेस्ड जी एसोसिएशन आसा टॅक्सी इश्यू जावं आनी कितें तांकां इन कॉन्फिडन्स घेवन फुडें सरता. सो हाजेर तुमकां केन्ना आपयलेंच ना.
As far as DRS is concerned, आमकां अजून पर्यंत तितलो हें करूं ना. खुबश्या मॅटरांनी आमकां आमची ओपिनियनां डिफरंट आतां आमकां घेवपाक चालू केल्या. फॉर एग्जाम्पल गोवा वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन, पोल्युशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड, वी आर इन टच with them for different policy matters. But as far as DRS is concerned, our association, we have requested for many meetings, but आमकां अजून पर्यंत जाय तशें engagement, being part of a meeting is one thing, but taking our association's opinions and addressing them, that has not been done.
बापूस पंचायत मिनिस्टर सो तांचे कडेन बी कितें उलोवप जाल्यार जावं पत्र व्यवहार कितें जाला.
सो आमी सगळ्यांक
तो दिसता
आमी पयली अप्रोच जाल्ले थ्रू द कन्सर्न डिपार्टमेंट more than 1.5 years, एक वर्ष मॅच कमिटी आमकां सांगा की आमकां आयकता ते भशेन बरें जावचें ना तेमी आमकां रिप्लाय करूना नॉर did they invite us. So that is very clear. Only in the last 3 months, correct?
Yeah, the thing is, this system is not being implemented to the waste management department. So there is confusion in that also. Who is the implementing authority? So there is right now only an authority, which we understand. But again, there is a confusion. So आम्ही तुमकां सारकें clarity आम्ही दिवपाक शकता कित्याक आमकां खबर. There is one authority called Goa Coastal Environmental Authority, something which is the committee as of now. It is not even been converted to authority to implement the system. So आम्ही कोणाक approach करचे हेही आमकां exactly खबर ना. So we have made representations to all, but as far as I know, waste management ministry is not directly involved in this. So we have made our copies to all the ministries concerned.
तुम्ही oppose करता की
ना in principle आम्ही ही propose करना system. आमचे opinion आम्ही देताना सांगता जशें की आमी consult करचे. There are many issues that need to be resolved. Just implementing in its current format will not solve the problem of what they are saying. What general public is understanding is कि DRS आहे की रस्त्यावर कचरा कमी लागतो, कचरा कमी लागतो आणि वेस्ट कमी जाते हे जनरल परसेप्शन आणि दुसरे ओपिनियन एक्स्ट्रीम ओपिनियन झाला की DRS आयल्यार कंझ्युमराचो कॉस्ट वाडटलो आणि अदर नेगेटिव्ह सायड. सो एक्स्ट्रीम पॉझिटिव्ह सायड आणि एक्स्ट्रीम नेगेटिव्ह सायड प्रेझेंट जाल्ले आसा. बट देर आर लॉट्स ऑफ ग्रे एरियाज विच आर नॉट कवर्ड. म्हणजे आमचे कितें स्टेकहोल्डर्सचे कितें the workers who are working, तांकां कशें बेनिफीट जातले, तांचो कितलो लॉस जाता. So there are nobody has understood how panchayat contracts work, how municipalities contract work. So any system dealing in waste management cannot be implemented
इनसे वर्कर्स कितले हवाय असे कितले वर्कर्स सपोर्ट टू डिपेंड
आमचे असोसिएशना थ्रू आमचो around 2,000 to 3,000 workers असतात.
workers will be different.
And also there are sector of informal workers as well. They work in scrap yards, they collect waste, they go road to road. So we have concern about them as well, and also workers who are working in MRS, set of workers who are doing collections, house to house collections. So we really want to know how this system will work for them, if it will affect on their livelihoods. So they are saying that they will onboard informal sector of workers, but we really want to know the strategy for it, how many workers they will appoint, what will be the system for them, and also how the system will work with informal sector of workers. Because right now, as sir said, mainly the waste littering of Goa is handled by only informal sector of workers and scrapyard owners. We have concern towards them as well.
It is very clear, सगळ्यात दिसता, be it in the municipality or in the village panchayat, जे कचरो डोर कलेक्ट करतात ते आर फ्रॉम द व्हेरी लोअर स्ट्राटा ऑफ सोसायटी. तो गोंयकार खूब कमी आसा, मे बी 10%. सो ते सगळे पण देअर मेन इनकम इज नॉट ओनली द सॅलरी, देअर मेन इनकम इज दिस सेलिंग ऑफ दिस. सो हे जर तेंचे काडले ते काम करपाक बंद करतले, वीच मिन्स ते डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन करपाक ते म्हणून आमकां उपकारना. आनी म्युनिसिपालिटी आनी पंचायती कडेन हे रिकवर हे करपाक ऑल्टरनेट फंड करपाक पयशे आसा की ना जाणा जावपाक जाय. सो आफ्टर
तसोच एक प्रश्न आहा. तुम्ही म्हणल्यार विकून तांकां पयशे तरी ॲटलीस्ट मेळटा, पण आमी पळयता की गव्हर्मेंटा वटेनच्यान तांकां पेमेंट खूब डिले जाता. खूब आमी पळयता की एकदां तांकां आमी पळयता पयर सुद्दां कलेक्ट जायना कारण तांकां पयशे दिनात. म्हयन्याक 2-2 म्हयने 3-3 म्हयने पेमेंट पडना. सो ॲटलीस्ट हेजेर तरी ते कितें तरी करताले, पूण ते बंद जाले जाल्यार मागीर सगळो मिसमॅनेज.
it will affect in the long run. So it has to be approached holistically, which means there is a way to introduce it, but not when you take high value items. See, like तुवें हे चालले ते सारके. आतां पॅट हे सगळे वस्तू जो DRS जाले कोण घेतलो, एकूच पार्टी घेतली. तूं कोणू पाटली घेवं हे घेवं, you have to give it to that one vendor. So he becomes the sole owner of all this, correct? So a rag picker, आता थोडं विकता, जर तो today's market rate is 25 rupees a kg, तो म्हणटलो आपणाक 5 रुपयाक दी, because there is nobody to else to sell. On this there is no clarity. आमकां कळना.
सर एज अ एसोसिएशन आमी एक मुद्दो एक केलो सरकार इवन जे मामीन ना ते वाव प्लांटाचेर उलयताले ताजेर आमी एक इशू केलो सर रिसेंटली ताजेर तुमचें हेचं एसोसिएशन कितें
These are MRFs, material recovery facilities, which the government has set up. Now, what is the arrangement the government has set them up individually is different. There are contractors, right? The contractors are the mutual plants of work. I will not name the plant. There are workers who are working. So our concern is of that waste collection now. How that plant.
See, what is the rate you're getting right now?
Yeah,
See,
yes,
there's a lot of confusion right now which I feel that can be addressed. Is for one, the DRS system is not hiring any workers. Okay, I think you need to
Yes,
be
you're right. Yes, you're right.
So essentially, you can collect it, and if you deposit the waste, you get the money. So there's no job loss. One, from what I understood, I could be wrong. But also, I'd like to know what happens when you all collect this waste. Where does it go?
There is one big confusion on the scrap value and deposit value.
Yeah.
This can has a scrap value of 185 rupees per kg today.
Aluminium can buy.
Aluminium can has a rate of 185 rupees a kg. This plastic bottle has a scrap rate of around 44 rupees a kg. This is today's rate. Now DRS is not talking about this at all. They are talking about deposit.
Correct.
So you pay 5 rupees, 10 rupees, and then when you return it, you get the money back. You are making zero. The scrap value is still there. Who is getting the scrap value is the system operator only. No one is talking about that part. So what we are saying is, if the system operator is not employing any persons and we have to do the work for them, then give us some of the scrap value. What they are offering us today is very little. We are still negotiating with them. But what the point of the matter is that these few things is subsidizing our operational cost across Goa. You remove these things, then managing the remaining waste becomes very expensive for us. Today we are spending around 25 rupees per kg to dispose sanitary waste responsibly. We are spending around 5 rupees per kg to dispose the RDF waste. Tomorrow if this is gone, how do we cover our cost? Because in many places MRFs are not being paid any money, they have to recover the income from the material itself.
Also at the same time, how this digitized system will work for waste workers, especially in Forman, that is also a
In
question.
the smartphone doesn't.
Because they don't have smartphones, they are illiterate people as well sometimes, so there is confusion here as well.
It is not only for the waste worker. Into a small household where they don't, the lady of the house doesn't have a phone, smartphone. So how does she get this money back? ते पोतयेचे नायचे पैसे कसे मेळटले ताका परत? ती घेवन बारीक खंय वयतली?
And
So it is taxing more to everybody. Instead of it being easier, making life easier for everybody, it is going to make life very difficult in those cases.
तर फायनल एक एक्सपेक्टेशन कितें आसा तुमच्या एसोसिएशनाचे
आमचे सजेशन एक आसा. One is that don't put these items in DRS which is already solved. If you go to see 70-80% as already collect data, whether government is involved or not, it is already being collected. What we are suggesting is you put things like MLP, which is a problem, which government has accepted, but they said we will do in second phase. Second phase, we will do it in the first phase. Then what we have said is multi-stakeholder. Now we are talking all of this. Consumer, who is the biggest person who's paying the money, has not been consulted. So we have to have a multi-stakeholder consultation. And for all of this, 1st April is just hardly 2 weeks away. We are asking that it should be deferred at least 6 months to 1 year so that we have time to properly put a proper DRS.
Another request is that our suggestion is that please implement this single-use plastic ban. Single-use plastic जे नुसते that is causing the major problem. Introduce that ban. So when that ban is introduced, we'll find alternates. लोक आपण पिशवी घेऊन वयतलो आनीक पिशवी घेऊन. So ते बंद केल्यार आमचे खूप ओपन वेस्टाचे फुडें जाता. आनी like what we have already spoken about, diapers and sanitary pads. Their disposal cost is huge. 25 रुपया per kg. So 2 diaper use जातकीर 1 किलो. So those are the areas where government has to see what रस्त्यार पडे दिसता. Single use plastic and diapers and sanitary pads. हे पडे सगळ्या दिसता. Those have to be addressed first. Yes, this is good. But how this is going to be implemented and how it is going to affect the consumer and the waste collector is something that has not been considered. Because we are working for the last more than 20 years. And we have ground reality, Kamdar Asate, it is a concern. So our request is rethink, delay it, and then have a holistic approach for all the waste. Because according to our knowledge, there is infrastructure in the state of Goa. It is underutilized. We can put it to use if it is all planned well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank